Welcome back to the Real Estate Reserve Podcast. Jason Balin from Hard Money Bankers, co-host Ian Horowitz from Equity Warehouse, back in studio. Lee Yoder, multifamily investor from Ohio. Had a great conversation with Lee here a few weeks ago, almost a month ago at this point. Wanted to invite him back onto the show to chat about a deal that changed his life. Obviously, he's a very active multifamily investor. He also has experience in some other asset classes, including some single family stuff way back when. So I'm sure he's got a good deal that's changed his life. Maybe it was a good deal, maybe it was a bad deal. Lee, thanks again for hopping on with us. Maybe just do a quick intro if anyone didn't listen to the first show.
Sure. Yep. Live in just north of Cincinnati in Southwest Ohio. I was a physical therapist by trade. Went to school for a long time for that. Got into that. Started feeling like that wasn't the path for me. Was getting more into business. Started reading some books. Read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Read some other ones. Thought, man, I think real estate is it for me. Got into real estate by flipping a house in 2017. My wife and I did in the town that we live in. Loved it. Just loved real estate. Did a duplex the next year. And then the deal that changed it all for me was the year after that. We bought a 16 unit. Just went from 1 to 2 to 16, and that deal changed it all for me. So I'd be happy to get into that one. But that's a little bit about me and the deal I want to talk about today.
Yeah, tell us about this 16 unit. Why was that such a life-changing deal for you after you flipped the house? Yeah,
owning that duplex, I mean that felt like a big deal after we did the flip. The duplex, but buying a 16 unit felt like, a legit apartment building to us at the time. It felt way too big. My wife, she thought I was crazy for a long time, but now she really thinks I'm crazy that I think we can buy a 16 unit. Again, she's like, nobody does this. We don't know anybody that does this. And I'm like, I've been listening to the podcast. There are other people that do it. I think we can. And but that was my mindset too. It was like, man, I don't know how we do this. One thing that was a game changer, guys, was we managed that duplex ourselves. It was in our town. It's 2 units, not a big deal. We renovated the units, so there shouldn't be many work orders or things like that going on because we did everything. Being responsible for 16 units just felt overwhelming. We didn't even like being responsible for 2 units. So when we partnered with a property management company, it was such a mindset shift because while taking over 16 units, we were like, what are we going to do on the day we close? How are we going to do this? Well, we didn't partner with a giant property management company. They manage 1,000 units in Dayton, Ohio, which is just north of Cincinnati. And that's all they do. So that's a smallish property management company, but 16 units is 1.6% of their portfolio, right? So for them, that's nothing. That's a drop in the bucket. And so talking with them, realizing yeah, Lee, on the day you close, we'll run out, we'll put notes on the door, we'll do this, we'll let everybody notice how it goes, we'll collect rent, we'll pay all the bills, we've got all that stuff. All of a sudden it was like, wow, okay, this isn't going to be that big of a deal. And then to close on that and to see them operate it, and I mean, they weren't amazing, but everybody paid their rent, for the most part. When people had an issue and there was a leak, they took care of it. When contractors need to be paid, they paid it. They paid all the bills that needed paid, and everything, was running, relatively well. So that was a game changer. Also, we had to raise capital on that one. We just raised it from one couple, which was my in-laws, actually. Those are the only people that will believe in me at that time, right? They came in with us, and we did really well. Now, I think we did a good job with that property, and we would have had good returns, kind of regardless of the market time in the market, the point in the market cycle. But we got really lucky with our timing, and the COVID stimulus boom helped us, and so we sold we doubled it in about a year almost, and so we did really well. My in-laws did really well, and so that was really cool. And so that was what led us into apartment syndication, where we bring in even more investors now, because while it was fun for my wife and I to do well, and it was life-changing for us, it was really cool to see my in-laws get to do really well as well. And they're people who have their house paid off, have money in a savings account and a 401k, and that's it. They've never ventured into anything else. So to see them, maybe take on a little more risk, but be rewarded for it, and it kind of be pretty game changing for them because it was a huge return. That was really neat and convinced us to do more. So seeing that it's possible to do an apartment for somebody like my wife and I, getting partners that make it where they take on most of the day-to-day operations was a game changer. And then seeing other people benefit from it was just huge for us. And the last thing I'll say, I've heard people talk about the law of the first deal. I mean, that was so true when we got into multifamily. Getting this 16 unit seemed like climbing Mount Everest, but literally the day we were closing on it, I put an 8 unit under contract. And then it wasn't like a month and a half after that, we had a 10 unit under contract. So things started spot. Like once you do it once, it's all of a sudden it's like, well, it's not climbing Mount Everest. It's just climbing this big hill in my backyard. I can do that again. So that's why that one, was pretty game changing.
Well, just like you said, a lot of added benefits with a lot of added people that people don't, I think a lot of real estate investors don't take that into consideration. It's like, hey, not only are you helping yourself and your own pocket, but like you're helping your capital investors, right? Yeah. And that's obviously the top priority is whoever puts the capital, they better freaking get a return no matter what happens. Sure. Like that's top priority. So you're helping them, you're helping employees, right? You're employing people, you have vendors, helping community, helping sellers, buyers. There's so many things. There's so many sides of this that I think some people just don't realize. So it's good. It's good to showcase that. Yeah. I mean, it's a great deal. Seems like that was a good one that I can certainly understand why a deal like that would change your life.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, man. No, dude, that was awesome. Dude, people get so much value out of this segment that we do because it just shows you another real person doing a real deal. And that's what it's all about. And everybody thinks that we're something special. No offense, Lee, I just met you, but I think you're one of us. You're just a normal dude doing deals, doing the best you can for your family. And you've proved that through this 16-unit deal. And I think a lot of people will get a ton of value out of this. Lee, where's the best place people can find you on the internet that want to learn more about you?
Yeah, sure. I'm pretty active on LinkedIn. So just look for Lee Yoder on LinkedIn, and then you can jump on our website, threefoldrei.com. That's the number 3 spelled out, fold like fold a piece of paper, REI is in realestateinvesting.com.
There you go, boys and girls. You can find Lee Yoder spelled the normal way out there. And we will catch you guys on the next one. No, seriously, though, if you got any value out of this, Lee has really poured his heart not only into this episode, but the one that ran a few weeks ago. We went through a lot of information and absolutely awesome. So if you get any value out of this, share it. We can help Lee. That's what matters. He's helping us. We're helping him. And guys, we will catch you on the next one.
Thanks for tuning in to the Real Estate Reserve Podcast. Do us a favor and like, comment, and share our broadcast. It helps the algorithm and helps us spread the word too. Till next time, thank you for tuning in.